Okay, everybody, for trying to break 100, let's get started. You know, at the golf school, we always say the 5 critical parts of putting: pace, 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 and face. 4 of them are pace. So you want to be able to get the golf ball to roll nicely out of the middle of the putter face and stop at the estimated distance. And so sometimes you can even walk this off. Just for illustrated purposes, I put some chalk lines on the green. Obviously, this is where our 0 is going to be for this one. Then we go up the hill, and I've got 6 balls at the top coming down the hill, because you're going to need a different feel to hit those putts. I've got a ruler on the ground, and the ruler is to help me understand my stroke length. So I've got an 18-footer. I've got 6 steps to my first chalk line right there. And what I want to do is set the golf ball on this chalk line. Again, you can just use tees when you're at your putting green. This is just for video purposes. And what we want to do is become familiar with our stroke length. So out of my peripheral vision, as I hit these putts, I'm letting the putter travel in my periphery. I want to see how nicely I can let these balls rest on that chalk line. And that's not too shabby, a little bit short. So I'm going to hit 2 shots to the first chalk line. That's better. That's a good one. That just barely rolled over the chalk line. At 18 feet, if I get within 10% of where I started, 1.8 feet from the hole, that's a nice putt. If it goes in, great. But if it's an easy cleanup 2 putt, when you're breaking 100, you're doing fantastic. Now this next one right here, we got 15 paces, 45-footer up a hill, a lot trickier. I know that this requires more stroke length. I'm going to resist the short backstroke with a lot of acceleration. I want to create some backswing length, kind of check in my periphery where relative to the ruler that might be, and just start to explore these feelings and what that feels like to let this ball roll up that hill and hopefully stop close to that chalk mark. Okay, that's way too far. Let's try that again. So in my periphery, and I'm not staring at the ruler, I'm just very, very aware of that sensation and whether or not I'm adding any acceleration. And that's a nice one right there. So now I've got 2 more putts. I've got 20 steps. I've got a 60-footer. If you hit it within 6 feet of the cup at 60 feet, that's a fantastic putt. Now, when you do this exercise, again, there's no substitute for time spent on the putting green, but this kind of work, this mindfulness of stroke length, centeredness of contact, let's see how I do. And that putt's a little strong. So to be fair, I got to put some practice in these long putts, because I'm going to have some challenging putts on a couple of those longer putts. You don't want that when you play golf. Just like you, I've got to get out and practice. I'm going to challenge you to do the same thing. Create a dimension where you start. Go up the hill and come down the hill. Start to build in that awareness. The keys being, can you start to sense and feel the stroke length that you take the putter back and how that corresponds with the distance the ball travels off the face and eventually comes to rest. And that's a pretty nice one right there. That's going to be in tap-in zone. So what you're going to do is you're going to do the exact same thing down a hill, help develop your touch, stroke length, centered contact. You become a really nice putter who can lag the ball up close to the cup and tap in those 2 putts. All right, so you're doing great at the breaking 100 drill. Now let's level up to breaking 90. I've got a straight putt, and you can kind of work your way around the cup until you find out where the straight putt is. I've got my yardstick out. I'm going to take a Sharpie, and I'm going to make a couple little marks in the green that will go away in no time. This is just to help you know where to set the ball. I'm just kind of circling, going around, making a U shape around this ruler, making a little start mark, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Now I've got 3 tees. I'm going to make a little gate, and if we set a golf ball in there, you can make this as hard or as easy as you want, but I'm going to ask you to challenge yourself. I'm going to put a 1/4 inch on each side of this. It's pretty easy to visually check it out. Push the tees in and look at that margin and just kind of imagine you've got 1/4 inch there. And then we're going to create a place. Once we take this away, we've got that little U shape we're going to roll a golf ball into, and then we're going to have a backswing dimension. I'm going to move back here and I'm going to put this tee in, And then notice how I've got this tee ramped this way. Because all too often what I see with putters is they take a wee little backstroke and then gun it going through. We want our putter to coast. So we need enough backswing to impress the ball, to get it to go through this little gate we've got here straight into the cup, but we want the putter coasting, never really artificially accelerating. Let's get started. So breaking 90, I love this drill. Roll a golf ball into a little U shape you created on the green. And now you've got a great little sense here of how to move the putter back a nice dimension, cruise into the ball, and then gently put the brakes on. We don't want this stroke where it goes back a short distance and over accelerates. That's a no-no, trust me. I see it with a lot of golf school people. You watch the best tour players, they've got some nice swing in their backstroke. The ball gets collected. Let's knock them through this gate. There we go. In fact, I touched the gate there, so I want to be able to hold up before my putter gets to this gate. Let's do that again. And that's a perfect one. So I want you to do a set of 10 of those. That's a great way to start and have confidence in starting your golf ball perfectly. Let's move on to breaking 80. All right, let's talk about breaking 80, leveling up your skill. When you go practice your putting, you've got choices. I've got a subtle break here right to left. You can hit this very straight. This is called the banana drill, by the way. As you can see, I've got this shape on the green. I've got a 12-foot piece of yellow rope fashioned around the cup to illustrate what I'm explaining here. I could hit this putt very straight with a lot of speed. If I miss, guess what? I take on the risk that the ball will go 3, 4, even 5 feet by the cup. You know, Tom Watson took a lot of break out of his putts, hit them very straight. My old friend Mike Weir did the same. There's other ways of holding this putt. We can be more conservative. We can take a higher line or the medium line. Now when you practice, see if you can hit 3 putts. It's really hard to make 3 putts, one on an aggressive line, just right, and then really conservative high line, because there's times when it's appropriate to make that choice. End of a match, you have to make it. No holding back. You want to give it a fair go. Take the break out of it, aim pretty much at the cup. Do your best to make a nice stroke with good speed. Nice putt. Very little break on that. I hit it with so much speed. If it would have missed, it would have been by, I would have had a knee knocker coming back. Now the medium pace, I'm going to play a little bit more break. Still within the boundary of the cup, I'm aiming here. And let's see it take a little teeny weeny bit of break here. That's pretty much a perfect putt. Now the ultra conservative putt. If I've got to dolly it up, say I've got a 2-shot lead, I just got to maybe make it or maybe not. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's play it a little outside the hole and a little softer, see how we do. And break. Just fell in. So as you can see, you've got options. There's ways for you to develop your putting skill. You've got to become a great pace putter, working on your long putts across the green, because if you can get them within 10% of where you start, that's fantastic. Then you saw the little drill trend. When I leveled up to breaking 90, I challenged myself with a tiny gate, a straight putt, working on my start line, working on my direction. A great way to really have confidence that you have certainty that you can start your ball where you want to. And then finally, the nuances of the same putt hit 3 different ways. The banana drill, that's a great drill too. So I really encourage you, get in, check out GolfPass, dig around. You're going to find some fantastic videos. The coaches are awesome. The content, there's tons of it. Be sure to check out my Breaking 90 series. I really think you're going to love it. So Martin Chuck signing off.
Swing from home 7 days a week with personalized lessons just for you and your favorite shows on the GolfPass app or golfpass.com. And don't miss more daily lessons on the GolfPass Instagram and Facebook pages. Swing from home with GolfPass.